Hey there, what's up everyone? My name's Terrifier, and welcome to Slender the Arrival. I'm revisiting it after all these years, and I'm going to be doing it in hardcore mode because I haven't actually done it in hardcore mode yet, while I'm actually sitting at my computer anyways. And while I'm going to be doing that, I'm just going to check, hardcore mode, and I've got my lamp over here. It's much better than if it was off, because if it's on, then it helps to illuminate my face better. And while I'm going to be going through it, this time I'm going to be doing something a little different. I haven't told you guys why I like this game so much. I've told you guys that I love it, and that's a game that's very close to my heart, but I don't think I've ever actually explained why. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this game. Like in the beginning here, yes, it's showing like the little scenes showing the car because that's what we're going down. And you see like a shadow of somebody in the background there, which tells you it's going to be more than just a regular Slender game. This could be us. Probably not, because it looks pretty animalistic. Some people think it's the rake. I personally don't believe so. It's probably Charlie. We park our car, and then there's the fallen tree that blocked our path, and a lot of people didn't know why we were coming here, but in an audio recording that's revealed in Kate's house by CR, it says that we're actually going to help Kate sell the house, as the sign there said, land for sale. Gosh, that's... Sorry if you see me like wiping my forehead or fanning my shirt. It's still summer right now, and it's very, very hot in this room. I've got my window all the way open, but it's still pretty hot. And when you're going down, like this music, like the music that plays right here, sounds peaceful, but at the same time, it's got kind of a foreboding edge as you travel. And the scenery is nice. It is actually pretty lifelike. Like I think about as good as it could get for 2013, which is the year this game was made in. I'm sure it's either that or 2012. You can see like abandoned things sitting by the side of the road, and it all helps to like kind of set in the mood of the atmosphere and the environment, and the lifelikeness of the graphics also helps to immerse you into the world. That's something I learned in Resident Evil 7, which has also very lifelike graphics. I didn't actually like play through the whole game, but I did see like the demo. And also, as you're going down the path, you can see it's subtly turning nighttime more and more. And when it's turning nighttime, then that's if you've got any knowledge of other past Slender games, that tells you that it's dangerous, pretty much. That the Slenderman's nearby, and you got to get shelter and fast. And isn't it so convenient? There's a house here, so your closest shelter is the house. And I mean, in this level, Slenderman isn't actually dangerous. He just shows up in the background a couple times at most, but still. And you get the sense of the controls. It's kind of like the same way that Layers of Fear works, or not really, because you have to click and swing. In this, you just have to click and hold, and it swings open for you. The way that it used to be was more like Layers of Fear, but then the game got updated. Yeah, see right here.
0 new messages. 1 old message.
CR again. I hope everything's okay. I know there's been a lot to take in and wrap your head around. It'll be good when Lauren gets there to help you sell the house. Take a little load off your mind.
There you go.
Give me a call when you get the chance and we can talk. Take care.
Press 1 to delete. 2 to return to the main menu.
And Kate obviously didn't get back to him for a reason that you'll see when you go up into a room. But when you go into the house, you can even see that there's like the scrawl of the same style that are on the pages, just like with litter on the walls as well, and that already gives you the feeling that there's something not quite right in this house. I like how things are in random locations, so it can like vary it up a little bit. In this Kate's room, like it's like positioned at the very end of the hall with a single light illuminating the door, and of course it's locked. And once you get inside, then that's when you see the whole room littered with the pages, and the music just ramps up the tension of what you've just found out. It's brilliant. And then there's the shattered glass as well. And there's a page that says "To the woods," and the window looks out to the woods. And when it says "Can you see it?" you look out, and you can see, yep, the radio tower is way over there. That's your target distance. That's your target. It's I said target distance, but like it's the target. So that's a good way for the game to tell you that that's where you got to go without actually outright telling you. And when you pick up this page, and then after a few seconds pass, you hear the scream, and that tells you somebody's in danger. But because you know that this is a Slenderman game, that's just going to tell you. That's just going to tell you that basically it's what's been already reiterated when the whole nighttime sequence came around, that it's dangerous out there. And would you look at that? There's Slenderman. And after hearing that scream, now you're really not going to want to go outside, but at the same time, you know you have to, because well, that could very well be Kate. It very well was. But over here, this little note right here, if I could pick it up. Yeah, this note right here. I didn't see it while I was going through my initial run-through, so I'll just read it right here. Or actually, maybe I'll do it in CR's voice. Kate, I want to see you again. I can't stop thinking about you, Kate. About us. I'm sorry for what happened in the park. Maybe I shouldn't have said those things. I know you may not feel the same way, but I don't want to let you go. I hope someday you'll change your mind. I'll be here waiting for you. Please, just think about us some more. I have so many things I want to show you. So many things I want to share with you. I want to protect you. I hope we can at least still be friends. Yours truly, Carl Ross. And that's Carl basically saying to Kate that he has feelings for her. But the fact that the note is crumpled up and put near the trash could show Kate's dislike for him. So they were once friends, and then that note reveals that Carl revealed to her that he had feelings for her, which, was very sweet, but she didn't really like it that much, and then she just tossed it aside, and ever since then she just stopped replying to him, but he ended up still replying to her, or sending messages to her. And over here, yes, she's right here. Back then, when this game had still first come out, you used to just like walk out here and it immediately took you into the second level, but now you got to activate generators as well, showing that there's more interactive abilities with this game, and that there's a Slenderman, and when you see him, it's gonna really set you on edge, because you're not getting a full glimpse of him. You're only getting a taste of what he's like, and you can see his silhouette, and then he vanishes with some camera distortion. And he already did it earlier. Oh, and I guess he did it again. Oh crap, I just realized that I forgot that my flashlight runs out in hardcore mode. I thought I was in normal mode for a second, so I thought that having my flashlight out would be totally fine, but it is not. This is more of the same general idea, more generators to activate, and there's a Slenderman up there again. Hello, sir. I was freaked out quite a bit when I saw that guy. Okay, well, that's the biggest growth spurt I've ever seen in my life. I don't think that's supposed to happen, but yeah, you can see it like when he's that close to you and he's that tall. You can see that this Slenderman model is a lot different than the one that was in the original Slender the 8 Pages game. And playing this game in hardcore mode is all the more terrifying because you gotta have your flashlight off to conserve it, but the environment just looks a lot scarier if your flashlight's off. And then when you get to this point, you see the Matheson house. And when you go towards it, this audio cue plays, which again is sort of like what happened with Kate's room when he went into it. That there's something foreboding about it. When you enter, like, the scenery itself just darkens up to show you how dark the house is. And when you see this guy, this thing always freaked me out. Like, my flashlight can't tell. You can't tell very well because my flashlight's running out, but he is visually hideous to look at and perceive with your eyes. He's skinny to the point of being skeletal. His hair is all messy and ragged. His face is just horrifying. Like, I thought he had no lower jaw, but he just doesn't have any lower teeth. And you can hear him, like, growling and stuff. When you go close to him, then BAM! He hits you. And the footsteps to show that he just ran off. And you know that the people who made this game, like Blue Isle Studios plus Parsec Productions, and the plot of this was written by the cast of Marble Hornets. Like, that's quite a team right there. And you know that if they just throw something in like that, like just some kind of creature there, you're not gonna see the last of him. Like, they wouldn't just like create something like that in the beginning prologue of the game and then just like you never hear from him again. No, you at this point in the game, you know that thing is going to show up at some point later on, because they're smarter than to just throw that out in the very beginning and then just do nothing with it. When you see this, then this plus the music just makes you like, oh no, what happened? Was this Kate? Like, the writing is the same as the pages that were in Kate's room. It must have been Kate. Why am I still walking? I hear the footsteps. Nice little snazzy intro. And when you get into it, and now we're into the 8 pages, so this is going to be good delving into familiar territory. I do like how the loading screens also reveal little bits of backstory here as well. It's only little snippets, but I do wish we had more. Yeah, when you're over here, at this point, with you conserving your light, if you turn it off, you literally cannot make out any details no matter how close you get to them. Like, you can only make out the silhouettes. That was an intentional part of the design of this game, and that's pretty good. That's pretty awesome. And this is what I was hoping to happen. Hear the whispering like that? That was something that Carl mentions in note number 4 that I didn't find before you get into the Coleman Mines. He said that he hears whispers outside of his window. He doesn't know what it is. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. That right there is basically showing that Slender Man is nearby. So whenever that happens, then I mean, in this kind of sense, when you're first starting the game, you don't actually know that this is going to be a remake of the 8 pages. You just know you're going into the woods. But, like, who knows? It could be something different. But when that happens, then that's to show you that Slenderman's nearby, and he's watching you. And that in itself just gives you this sense of paranoia and dread that just crawls up your spine like an insect. And when you're going through this whole map, like, there's nothing really unique or different about this from any of the other Slender games, because it's pretty much the same concept. The only thing being is that the entire layout of the park is completely different, plus the locations are all randomized, unlike the original 8 pages game. When you're doing the hardcore mode, you got to keep your light off just long enough to be able to like get your bearings. Okay, there's Slenderman. Oh, here we go. Good thing the building's here. If you get like 7 out of 8 pages and then the building, and then you find the building, then you can easily get cornered if you take the wrong path. Oh, and there's Slenderman again. And when Slenderman shows up, then you get more than just static on your screen. You know, like your whole screen starts like shaking and bugging. There's like color distortions as well. It's a lot. They upped their game basically. And I do like how they reused the ambience from the like the drums as well from the original Slender game. That pays some nice homage to it. But good thing, like, when you're in hardcore mode, like, when you have to turn off your flashlight to conserve your battery, you can still tell, like, where the Slenderman would be. You can still tell. I got 6 pages. This over here is probably going to be my 7th page. I actually don't know if there's something there. Can't tell with the silhouette. There might... Okay, never mind. I'm going to run. Just going to assume there's nothing over there. Because sometimes there is. Sometimes there's like a light tower or a water tower, one of those two. Sometimes there's nothing there. It's just empty. It's just a hill. But yeah, so what was I saying? I don't remember. Oh, there's two locations here. Maybe. Oh my gosh. Oh, that caught me off guard. Okay, here's one thing. Page? Page? Yeah, page. Okay, over here is probably where the last page is, and it is van. Page? Yep, page. Page. 8 out of 8. First try. Took me about 4 minutes, I believe. Something like that. Okay, and then when this part happens, apparently you can die in this part, so you gotta make sure that you don't get caught by the Slender Man while running around. Because he'll show up at points, and if you run into him, you're dead and you gotta restart. There we go. Encoding overloaded, eh? Well, yeah, that's the Slender Man's fault. Okay. When you wake up, oh look, it's daytime again. But because you saw how quick the day turned to night in the very beginning prologue of the game, you know that this day is probably not going to last. So again, you got to find shelter. And look, the radio tower. It's good that this game put in something tall and in the distance so that you can still know where you need to go. Then with all the notes in this game, it does provide backstory, which is something that the other Slender games haven't done. And you don't know what kind of backstory it's going to be, because if the other Slender games gave you backstory, then you would probably expect that this would be the same kind of thing. But they don't. It's just the same premise. You go into the... Okay, never mind. Go into the woods looking for pages. And this point here, I didn't want to trigger the music just yet, but I did right now, so I'll just say it right now. This is when you follow that radio tower enough till trees block it out, and here's the common mining entrance. And just that music cue right there, again, like the previous two times I mentioned before, it gives you the sense that it's foreboding and ominous, but that you do have to go inside. When you go inside, it's like big and deep and echoey, and it definitely looks abandoned. If the previous notes saying that the place is closed down and the rotten, decrepit look of these signs and everything is any indication, and this note itself just gives you chills when you see it. There's arrows pointed, so that helps. That's also the game's way of helping to direct you. Don't know how anybody would be able to write that high. Get to the tower, need to get out. You can just see itself that this place is huge. And yeah, you gotta pick up a gas canister. That's something good and nice that they put in. It doesn't just start out with like, oh, they're in total working condition even after all this time. Like, no, you actually gotta fuel them. There's another one. Luckily, with the chaser, the chaser doesn't come after you when you pick up 2 gas canisters. It's still only after you activate 2 generators. Because you can see, like, once you activate the first one, you're probably totally safe. Like, I don't know, maybe the Slenderman comes after you eventually, but the chaser, no. Here we go. And even if you gotta have your light off, there's still enough of a glow to be able to tell where the generators are. Their light changes from red to green to show when they're off or on. And then... Waiting for it. That's a kind of sound you never hear in any kind of Slender game, and it puts you on edge. And this music that shows up as well, it already is just really foreboding. What I like to do is I like to just wait here for it to come up and get me. Or try to, anyways. I gotta have my light on so it sees me. It usually comes from that little place right there. Here we go. And when this thing happens, then you just hear violin going crazy, which just ramps up your tension even more. And when you see this thing, like, it's also visually terrifying to look at and behold. But here's the difference. This is a Slender game where there's an enemy and you can actually see them physically move around. Like, it's like with Slender Man, you always just see the Slender Man just like standing there idly, and he only moves when you look away. In this case, there is an enemy that you can actually witness coming after you. And you could witness the raw, brutal terror of it. Okay. Don't know if it was down there. Probably not. And this wasn't something that was just teased in the prologue either. And you can tell that this thing is completely different from that skeletal thing that you saw in the prologue. Which is yet another enemy. And after you've seen 2 enemies now, you don't know how many more they're going to throw at you. You don't know how many more this game is going to surprise you with. Okay. Bam. Still need more gas canisters. Is there one right here? There is. Thank you. Gotta keep my light off. There's enough lights to activate in this place so that you know where to go. Uh-oh. Oh, she's underneath me. I thought she was up here. She is hot in your trail. Oh, hello. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. Come on, I want to go that way! If she's just walking, then you can't hear her. But when she's running, that's when you can hear her. Okay, now she's gone. Or he's gone. Okay. Okay, I don't know where. Okay, how many gas can? Is there still one more gas canister to find? I don't know. There might be, and if there is, then I don't know where it is because I'm pretty sure I've gone everywhere. It's not here. Where is he? I didn't see him. Is he behind me? He's not behind. He's not behind me. Come on, game. Don't do that to me. Oh. And when that music, and then once the violins start going crazy, you know the proxy saw you, and you gotta run or do something to get away. Slenderman don't. I just gotta get around the corner. Oh my gosh! Forgot how dangerous he gets. I forgot how dangerous he gets. Okay, might not do it on this turn. There's another opening here, right? Yeah. Okay. I know I hear you. I know you're not happy. Neither am I. Because... Oh! That was the last gas canister. Okay, I can get out now. There we go. No, you wouldn't dare, Slenderman. You tried doing this to me before. Didn't much like it. There we go. And you don't know what the heck that creature was either. Could just be a random person for all you know. It's got a mask over its face. It's all burned. You don't know what it is, but you don't want to go anywhere near it. It's not up here with me. And actually seeing it run at you, that's a better kind of fear than just watching Slenderman just appear and then when he only moves when you look away. Because that kind of trope's been overused, but this one's throwing in a new kind of trope into a Slenderman mid-game, and that's a creature that you can actually see coming towards you. So it's a clever touch. And this one, no danger, but it's just But this plus the music's very relaxing as well. The environment's pretty, no danger. It's basically giving the player a time to relax once they've went through that whole ordeal. Just give them some time to calm down, because I'm sure that the developers knew that when the player got done with that level, they'd be pretty rattled up and they'd want a chance to relax. Probably want to just turn off the game and quit right then and there, but instead what they do is they throw in a level where the player could just freely roam with no danger, and it's daytime, and hear birds tweeting, hear nice calming music with still a bit of a haunting edge to it. And that bear there, this bear right here, that leads you into the memories level. That one, there isn't much to go about it, but except for the fact that with Charlie, it does a really good process, I guess, good sequence of showing Charlie getting lured into the woods, then everything becomes darker and foggier, and the music helps to basically show you the sense that the Slender Man's nearby. And Charlie's parents calling out for him start playful at first, but then they start to delve more and more into actually becoming panicked and worried. And if you follow the source of that noise, it just leads you to a hill with a bunch of tentacles coming from it. So that's basically showing you that the Slender Man was imitating his parents' voices, which is pretty clever, because I think that most people forget that Slender Man can imitate people's voices, and he did it right there. And hearing Charlie, this little child, hearing him like cry and scream for help as well, also helps to freak you out even more. There's a saying what you fear. The only thing I fear is fear itself. With me, it's the sense that if you actually witness somebody being afraid, it makes you be afraid as well. And the want to die message, it's basically showing how somebody is getting tormented by the Slender Man so much they just can't take it anymore. They want to off themselves. Here, there used to only be the escape level, and I'll do that in a moment. But I'm going to start with Homestead, because this level, oh my gosh, it is by far the most terrifying and intense level to me. Aside from the run up the fiery forest, but we'll get that later. And over here,
The date is September 19th. My name is CR, on site of the Matheson family farm, continuing my investigation in Charlie's disappearance. Let's see what we can turn up.
That's one of the first times you ever hear a character speak, aside from the voice message. And this music, again, very dark and foreboding. And you're in a completely new environment. You're not in the woods, you're not in the mines. This game's thrown another new environment at you, and it is a farm. The encoding's getting overloaded. I don't know if that's affecting the video at all. If it is, I'm sorry. Don't really know how to get it to stop encoding. I've tried many different things. And this gives you time to explore around. It even gives you a puzzle. The gateway's blocked. Well, let's click that and lift a lift. And in this level, you don't have a flashlight. You've just got to rely on the natural lighting to get you through. And then the darker areas, that's more of a danger. This silo in particular, you need gasoline, so this game's already given you an objective. And the generator over there that creates light, you can also see is a lot more crude looking, whereas the ones in the mines are more professional, whereas these ones are more just it's like on the farm, so it should look more mechanical and raw. And here's the cornfields, big, and with a sign that points you in different directions. But where you gotta go and get some fuel for the generator. And when you get to here, you can see, where would fuel be found? The granary? Don't think so. The chapel? I don't think so. The cellar? Yes. The cellar is where it should be found. But in horror scenarios, cellars are always very, very scary places to go down. Cellars and basements, they're scary. And that's amped up if you go into here, it gives you the same effect as when you went into the Matheson house in the prologue. The whole scenery darkens. And activate this. And the light goes on, but it's barely working. And you just think that at any second something's gonna pop up in front of your face. And something does. There's Charlie right there. Charlie's not a danger in here, but he's just a cosmetic effect. But as you're going around down there, I just went in and out right there so you can spend some more time. But as you're going around in there, you can hear footsteps running around. You can hear his childlike laugh as well. Like, it gives you a sense that he's just toying with you. He's just playing with you. That this thing is more powerful than you are. And that does give you another sense of dread, as on top of everything else. And when you exit, you're like, was the sky really this dark? It wasn't. It's the Slender Man. He's speeding up time to make it darker again, because I'm telling you, night does not come on this quickly. It takes time to transition. Here, it's just instantly. So, I don't know if Slender Man's actually speeding up time or if he's just casting an illusion to make it look like it's nighttime. My bet's on the illusion part. But when you go into the cornfield, you hear this. More foreboding music. And then you see that horrifying thing coming at you. You don't know how we got from down there all the way into the cornfield so quickly, but you know you gotta rush and you gotta run to get out of there as fast as possible. You see this horrifying thing coming at you. You saw him in all his glory, or I guess he's crying, so maybe not all his glory, but you did see him in the very first prologue level, and you saw how horrifying he is. And maybe if the light was on him better in the cellar, if he was in a better lighted area, you'd see how he looks down there too. But you know how he looks, and you know that this thing is more visually terrifying than that chaser in the mines is. And the thing that makes him especially scary is that, yes, he's another enemy that moves, like the chaser, so that's scarier than an enemy who doesn't move if you're looking at him, and only moves when you're not. So it's more terrifying to actually witness something running towards you. With the chaser, there's a defense. You can right-click with your flashlight to blind her, and then you can actually get a speed boost. With this guy, with this Charlie Matheson Jr., there is no defense against him. You don't have a flashlight to blind him. It's unknown if a flashlight even can blind him. All you gotta do is you just gotta run and hope that you're faster than him. That's what makes this guy much more terrifying than Slender Man and even the Chaser. Okay, the Chaser. Walking through here, like, the ambience shows everything creaking. Makes you wonder, is there something shifting about in the darkness with you? Or is this whole place so old and decrepit that it's going to come crashing down and cave in on you at any moment? I don't know, but you certainly don't want to go into the shadowy areas. And when you come back out here, bam, it's nighttime. Yeah. Slenderman's watching. He hasn't shown himself, but he's watching. When you go through the cornfield again, the music returns. But it's not just foreboding. It's also way more intense because now there's the pounding of drums. Or it sounds like drums anyway. It's like bongo drums, I guess. I don't know. But again, you can hear those footsteps. You don't want to look behind you. You don't want to see that thing coming at you. You hear those sounds, it just gives you like a raw primal fear, and you gotta run. And when you open the music, and you see all the graves of all the people a Slenderman has killed. This music and this area, it's just chilling to be here. It makes my arms crawl every time I see and hear this. And when you go in to here, the door is slammed. Could have done it. Oh no! Now over here, you gotta pick up the toys, but you gotta be quick because if you don't get up to the pew fast enough, then this thing comes in. Charlie Matheson Jr. Hello there. And he's like, who took my toys? It was you. Well, I'm gonna run around and get you. You can tell by the speed of that thing that you're probably faster than it, but you still don't want to mess around. You still just want to get out of there fast. And yeah, there's people who have glitched this part where once he busts into the house, then you can like run past him quickly because he can't actually hurt you when he busts right in. But I'm not going to do that. When you go up here, this is actually Charlie's room. You can see He was aware of the Slender Man the entire time. All these notes as well. And when you drop down here, that's when Charlie breaks home again. Breaks in again. And now there's way more ratcheting up of tension music. And again, you don't want to look behind, you just want to run. You see him chased off the property, and bam. That level is the terrifyingest to me. The most terrifying level to me, and it will always freak me out. And now you get escape. And this one's a really good sequence as well. It's shorter, but it shows what happened to Kate, and it's like it's nighttime, it's stormy. And you're just by yourself, all alone in your house, and something wants in really badly. And, yep.
Close all the windows and doors. Don't let him.
And this is another thing, like, this is the Slender Man we're talking about. Do you really think closing all the windows and doors is going to do anything at all? Like, this is her best defense. She's just, and you could hear the panic in her voice as well. No, 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 trick or treat hasn't come yet. You gotta do it before, you gotta do this before Slenderman shows up as well. And he's like, you can hear like doors slamming, you can hear like windows opening and closing, or yeah, doors slamming and stuff.
I need to hide.
But once he gets into your house, you gotta run in. You hear like the pianos banging, chimes going, like this paranormal force is all over your house and you just gotta run. So once you get into your room, like of course it's not gonna help, because hello there. And then she jumps out the window, and when she jumps out, then that harkens you back to the prologue, like, oh, that's why the window's broken. She jumped out! Or maybe he threw her out, but it looks looks like she jumped out. When you get back here, this music sounds like it's leading up to the climax. It sounds kind of ominous, but the music sounds more determined than anything. Like, let's go and get the job done. It's scary, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna get through together. And when you're going up the mountain, you can see that this whole place is all red, and it wasn't red before like that. It looks almost like fire, and that's because the Slender Man set the entire forest on fire. He couldn't catch you, his proxies couldn't catch you, or proxy, I guess, because Charlie technically hasn't come after you yet, because in the tape that was CR who was getting chased. But by now he is furious. You see this thing? Where is it? There it is. Common mines. You got to go back into the mines again? Oh no. Turns out, nope, you don't. It's just a area that I guess they mined out. When you go down here, you can see the scrawl of a madman all over the walls here. Somebody who's definitely losing his mind. The styling of the writing could possibly be Kate, but judging by all the notes he would have been picking up a long time ago, it's probably CR who's written all this. Funny little thing is you can even see a message here, don't give him $20. Reference to the $20 mode in the original Slender game, I guess. Give me $20, give me $20, give me $20. Let me go over here. This is the end of the cave, but everything lights up red. What is happening? Oh no, everything's on fire! And Slenderman isn't just in this one. He's got tentacles now that snake through the woods to try to get you. And you gotta just run and hope they get up. And the music here is a lot more fast-paced than anything you've seen before. See, look at these tentacles. Oh, yay! I got the Tangled achievement. That was the very last achievement I had to get, and I've tried to get it before. Like, back then, after I did the original Slender game, like, I tried to do it intentionally, it didn't work, and this time it happened accidentally. So because there's fire everywhere, and coupled with the ratcheting up of tension in the music, It just makes this whole situation even more harrowing and dangerous. And you know this is the last, the last final run-up. This is the climax of the whole game. And once again, don't catch me this time. And once again, like, the screen is flaring black and white, and you can hear the whispers. Like, that's what happened before. And coupled in with those screams, you can also hear some of the proxy sounds as well. Both of them, if you listen closely enough. And again, like, you know that these audio effects of the whispers and everything, that's to show you that Slenderman's near. And because it's not just happening a few times before you enter the level, it's happening constantly. That means the Slenderman's everywhere at once. He's really mad. When you get into here, you think you're safe, but that soon turns out to be false. Knock, knock, knock. You can't come in. But when you pick up a key and go through here, as you're going, like, your flashlight dies, so you've only got the lights to guide you. But you hear this? Footsteps sounding like dress shoes on pavement, coupled with deep growling. That is the Slenderman. He's wandering these halls looking for you. If you're clever enough, you can stick to the side and avoid him. He's like right here. Oh really? You're just pacing back and forth by this door? I'll run past you then! Oh really? You're not gonna let me? That right there is supposed to be Charlie, so what, Charlie's pacing there? Charlie can't pace there. He doesn't wear dress shoes. He's not as fancy as a Slenderman. Okay, where's the dang key? It's randomized again. That was kind of unfair of Charlie. Okay. This is better. This time the Slenderman appeared. Don't do this to me. Oh crap. I went the wrong way. Come on. Run. Right here. This is where we gotta go. Can I run, please? Thank you. Bam! Okay, finally. The weird thing about Charlie's attack there is that it isn't like a regular attack animation, like the chaser, because you can actually see her swiping at you. In this case, you get a whole bunch of flashing images, and I've seen the images before. They're like all blue and webby and watery, but if you look through those blue web waters, sorry dude, you can't come in. If you look past that webby look of it, you can see that it actually looks like a face. You can see a face in there. And the face isn't just a regular man's face, it looks like a kid's face. And if you match it up with the missing poster, it looks like Charlie. Unproxified like his normal human self. What makes me wonder is this some sort of memory attack that he's doing? Like, he looks like that hideous thing, but when he attacks you, he attacks you really impossibly fast. And you get glimpses, and when he's attacking you, you're seeing flashes of what he looked like as a kid, but, you know, still attacking you. Not sure I can really explain that, but yeah, that's the best I've got. And there's CR. Here lies CR. He tried his best, but in the end, it didn't really even matter. More of these insane scrawlings. You are my only choice. It will tear your brain apart, and you will watch. It turns... I can't tell what that says. It turns something inside out, and I cannot continue living this way. This is something I have to do, something I was told to do. Whispers from my only friend, who is gone now, for me to be free. It was following me, and it will not stop. Everything burns and melts and withers and falls apart. Everywhere it eats at me. You cannot hide. Run. The dark found But you're me in the dark found, what else do I do? Like, he's basically saying here that he's got like no other choice. He's got to like burn everything down because he can't put up with the Slender Man watching him any longer. And he's getting impatient out there, so I'm just gonna play this.
Kate, please. There's no other way. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I'm so sorry.
You can hear the panic in their voices, the laughter of the Slender Man at one point. It all just racks up the tension. Yes, come in, please. And this time, you see Charlie running at you, and this time there's no escape. You just gotta sit there and watch him run. And when you respawn, you're down here, and there he is. He's not attacking you. He's just watching. He's watching. His head's turning to follow you. Creepy as heck. And these are more messages from Charlie Manson Jr., his father, or his once father. And this has a question mark, so you don't know when that note actually was sent. Because all the other notes are numbered to show there's an order, but you don't know when that one's sent. And when you go up here, you recognize this as the house from the first game, except all the doors and everything are boarded off, and you can hear the crying. If you know anything about horror, you know that when you hear the sound of a crying lady, you do not follow it. So that's a trope that's being used here. It's still a trope that's hasn't been used in a Slender game before. And when you go over, it looks like Kate. But everything's glitching around her, so it doesn't look quite right. And you'll see when you go close, it's not. That was a freaking illusion that the Slender Man cast on her to make her look normal. And when you got close, BAM! The illusion got wiped away and she pounced on you. Element of surprise and all that. Technically, the game models show these as Kate's legs being dragged off screen because that's Kate's model, but the model for that sequence there was actually named Lauren Dead, so it's supposed to show that Lauren got killed. And that's the game. Some people do criticize the story, wishing that there was more. I don't think the story was poorly done. I do think that the story, there could have been more to it, and I do wish that there was more insight onto like the previous like before the events of the game, showing more about the relationship between Kate and CR, or I should say their friendship. I wish I could have seen more of that before we got to the end of the game. Wish there were more sequences like that. It did show Escape and Homestead, and those were all great, but it still didn't show enough of a dynamic between the two, and I would have liked to see that. Like, that's pretty much my only complaint with this game. Otherwise, the game's totally amazing. It's in my opinion, it's the best Slender game that's out there today. There was talk about a sequel being made, but then it kind of stopped afterwards. There's even somebody called Slender Dev on the Slenderman wiki who said he was making a fan-made sequel called The Chaser that was all about Kate. And then it ended up turning into a different Slender game, I think, called Slender the Awakening? Something like that? I don't know. But I don't even know if that's going to be released yet. It says the release date keeps on changing, and at this point it says it's going to be released in October 2020, but who knows if that's even true. But if and when that game does come out, you can bet I'm going to be playing it for my channel. So this is probably going to be my last video on Slender the Arrival, because I just wanted to show you guys why I like this game so much. I never actually told that to you guys before, but I'm doing it now. And and I just wanted to just get that out there, so hopefully you all understand now about why this game is just such a brilliant game to me. Brilliant in Slender terms. Like, I'm sure that with regards to horror games out there are ones that are better than this game, but in terms of Slender games, this is freaking brilliant. This is amazing. It uses some tropes that have been found in other horror titles, and at the same time it throws in some new stuff as well. And even some stuff that are from Marble Hornets, like the proxies and everything. That was in Marble Hornets. And Slender games never had proxies before, but this one does. And it's because that the Marble Hornets crew wrote it in, and then these aren't even reused proxies from Marble Hornets. These are like completely new ones that are exclusively for this game, and it's just so amazing. So thank you everybody so much for watching this video. This amazing game, the link to it is in the description below as well. And let me know what you thought down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.